And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the last game of today here at the second division of the Elite Series League of Legends. Freshtana is, of course, still by my side. Welcome back, Freshtana.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Yeah.
Nice to be here sitting with you at this cozy little Wednesday and just commentating some great banger games in this really nice second division of the Elite Series. I mean, what would be better than sitting here on a Wednesday together with you? Can't imagine anything.
Me neither, my friend. And yeah, I mean, you've said that we've had some banger matches up to now, and I think next one should also be one, because next up is Once Upon a Team, and now I have a brain hole. So I will ask if we can show the schedule. Exactly, against Adverse, that was it. Once Upon a Team against Adverse here for the last match of the day. And those are two teams which up to now were not able to catch a win for themselves, so they will definitely be fighting tooth and nail in order to get their first win against each other and demark themselves from that position on the standings. And yeah, Fristana, what is your take on this matchup?
It will be a close one. I think that both teams definitely are on the same level. So if they play it correctly, I would say, then we have a really close game where both where it's a back and forth, and you will not really have a clear winner till maybe minute 20, minute 30, or it will be just a complete storm from one of them. I mean, that's always the case in every single matchup, but I definitely think that we have a close one just because they both showed us in some of the matches that they are a really strong teams, and sometimes it was close uh, to win or to lose. And then they had some games where they just got stomped. So I think, and if they are on a good day and if they get a good draft for themselves, then both teams definitely can win it. So I have no clear favorite. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is pretty much the same. I think we're going to just have a close match, and I really hope that both teams are on top of the game so they can give us a banger matchup here as we're heading into the Champ Select. And the first few bans are falling, and notably that well-known, infamous, I would even dare say, Maokai ban.
Yeah. So we still have wrong overlay just for the production to maybe fix that, but there are just the same meta bans like we see always with the Karma, with like the Maokai, and then some target bans. I mean, Draven really strong right now. Olaf and Mordekaiser are just target bans against flags, and then of course Na as well as a really safe option for cut like. And now with so many target bans, of course, there are champions who will be open, like a Caitlyn. And maybe we
Yeah.
see Lushanami, maybe we see just something other, something solid. And maybe even we see a Rise because Spinto, because Rise isn't banned, and Spinto is really a Rise enjoyer, and he is still a really strong champ right now. So maybe we see him on 3 picking Rise, but that means that, or maybe on 1. I mean, I said they will pick Rice, and they picked Rice. So I'm really I'm proud of myself.
The prediction went through. And yeah, that Caitlyn pick here for Xamon also rather dangerous, as I think Caitlyn is one of his favorite champions.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see how they answer to that. Wukong, which I would almost dare say we've seen every game today. I'm not so sure. Honestly, I'm getting kind of sick of Wukong right now. We've seen enough of Cyclones there, and spinning all around kind of turns my stomach up.
But he is strong, man.
Well,
He is strong.
he is
So.
strong. He is strong. Please ban Wukong.
Yeah, it could be an option, but no, they will just pick it. And the
Yeah.
Akali against the Rice, so we already seen a midline matchup. So an assassin against Pro Mage definitely is a good matchup for the Akali. So I know why they picked it up. And now there's a Viego. So that already says that it's Sejuani top lane. So they kind of use this flex pick now, and they show us how they want to use it. and now they still need to pick up a bot lane, and that's something I don't know if I would have made it, because you see the ADC already, so maybe you could have just crafted ADC and then surprised the enemy team with the flex pick, because normally you wouldn't ban out Viego if you see a Sejuani, for example, but in this case they just show us the flex pick instantly, and now we have just bought some target bans against Nemo, who is kinda a Cillian OTP, not really, but he plays a lot of Cillians, so I can see why they ban it out. And then just some safe ADCs are definitely the way to go, because against Wukong, against Akali, if you get your hands on an ADC who can peel himself, it gets a little bit harder for those assassins, and maybe we see a Xayah ban because of that. But let's see what Once Upon a Team will ban out second, and there is the Renata, which makes sense if you want to kill someone with your Viego and get the resets. Then Renata and of course Cillian are really annoying to play against.
Yes, indeed. And now we'll see the last man of Adverse against Once Upon a Team, and then we'll be going over to our second pick phase. Once Upon a Team has to. Oh, we have the Varus ban. That's a surprise move, but oh well. And we'll see, maybe they're leaving the AD carry as last pick in order to make sure they have something solid to go against the whole bot lane, including the support.
Yeah, could be a way to just pick ADC now and get the winning support matchup, for example, or just picking a flex pick for the bot lane. I mean, that's probably the best way to play it, because now you can either go for ADC or support, and now you can get the winning matchup in any case. And with that, you can really see like a clear way for Once Upon a Team, just having two really strong ultimates to catch someone into the Burst of Rise, into like the resets of Viego. So just a good old pick comp to really target one, to target someone, to kill him, to get your Viego popping. So that's at the moment the way to play for Once Upon a Team. And there's the Nautilus Caitlyn, so tons of CC to get your Caitlyn traps working. I really like it, because right now with just Akali and Wukong, you didn't have the best CC to kill, for example, the Viego to burst him down. So with the Nautilus, you have much more to maybe catch out Viego in those fights. And then with K'Sante, more engage, more CC, and definitely someone on the side lane who can bully some other top laners around.
Yes, and now we'll have to see what's Once Upon a Team picks as the last pick, the AD carry, or maybe support, depending how they decide to use that Ashe in the end.
Oh, it's Braum.
Frosty. We have a Frosty bot lane there. With Braum, Ashe, I think Braum does give the good protection that the Ashe may need to get peel against such an aggressive bot lane and also jungle mid lane. I mean, the Akali, the Wukong you've already mentioned, the Nautilus which can go all in. So Braum here, a very nice defensive answer.
Yeah, and just look at all those CCs, Ashe, Braum, Sejuani, like the whole Freyord comp you would play in TFT, for example. So it's just remarkable what they draft there.
Oh, maybe they just they confused the games, man.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
They just wanted to collect those blue champions. I mean, Viego is almost blue, and then it's all blue squad.
Is literally blue. So yeah, goddamn.
Yeah. I don't know if you know it, but in Berlin there's the Blue Man group. So maybe they try to cosplay the Blue Man group. I don't know. But I mean, it's a solid team comp. So much CC, and it really fits into the style of a Viego comp. Just bursting someone down, having the CC to really get them, and it kind of makes sense, this team comp. The question becomes if they can get those catches and they can burst someone down, because it's kind of rough to catch a Wukong. Sometimes you catch the clone, sometimes he gets out with the mobility, with the ultimates, of course. Then K'Sante is really tanky, Akali is really just jumping around and just hiding. So the real threats to catch are Nautilus or Caitlyn, and if you really burst down with 5 ultimates the Nautilus, then you can't really win the team fight from that. So I'm really need to see how Once Upon a Team will execute their draft. But if they can get those catches, then it's a straight up team comp. Nothing to know about it. Just pressing R and hoping for the best.
Pressing on and hoping for the best. That's my usual tactic when I do play League of Legends. Yeah, let's hope that Once Upon a Team is able to pull it off, or maybe it will be adverse. Anyways, we will see that in the next few minutes as we're heading into the game. The last game of today, Adverse versus Once Upon a Team. Last game of today, day 1 of week 3. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. We already see stacking of Adverse, so they try to maybe go for a sneaky hook, but
Yep,
got spotted.
there she goes. I really like that choice of skins. It's beautifully pink.
Yeah.
Except for Wukong.
Yeah,
Good job.
He's not a funny guy. He's deadly serious and wants to play his favorite color or something. Who knows? But yeah, it's funny to see like the Blue Man group against the Pink Power Rangers. I mean, what a matchup there. Yeah.
Wow, we're in for a treat today.
And the good thing about this match is that we see one of those two teams who did not snag one win right now to finally snag a win. I mean, one of them will get a win, so that's cool to see, and so that they get a little bit more hope to maybe get back to the top of the mountain again.
Yes, as there's a lot of stakes in this game for both teams. Let's see who is able to come on top as a winner. And yeah, Adverse who try to already put some pressure on their enemies quite early into this game.
And K'Sante already is trading and winning those trades. Such a strong champion. I mean, he's just crushing the Sejuani right now, and she's playing with Ignite. I mean, that's always a bad sign.
We have to hook landing at level 2 on the bot lane. We get some damage out on Toto, who's already mid-life. Yes, so both top and bot lane faring pretty well for now on the side of Adverse. The mid lane, not so much can be said, but they're holding their ground on this Akali.
Yeah. And of course, Akali as a counter pick to the Ryze suffers a little bit in the early game just because it's range versus melee. But especially with level 6, like it's a huge power spike because Ryze doesn't get the ultimate really at level 6, while Akali gets 2 of her dashes and just a lot of burst. So that's when the matchup almost turns, and especially because Ryze, after his first back, probably just bought some mana, he bought maybe a tier or maybe the catalyst, and while Akali probably just goes for full damage. So right about the first recall, right about level 6, level 7, there's a lot of kill pressure on this Ryze. So that's the time where we might even see like ganks in the mid lane because Wukong is level 6 then and stuff. So that could be a good time frame to play around.
Yes, we'll have to use the fact that in the early game we can still have a slight advantage on this Ryze. Have to see how Spinto spins that in his favor. Haha.
What a good joke. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
But
yes, yeah.
It's quite a game when nothing really happens in the early game, so we.
Oh, except the small flash as we pick up the first kill here, first blood on mid lane for Neeko.
Well played. I mean, and I said nothing happens, and then it's just first blooded. So maybe sometimes I just need to jinx it, right? So maybe something is happening now. Oh no.
Oh, I did slightly. Nemu kind of baited me there. I was.
Who knows?
Although it would not be a very good idea, I think, to Tower dive a Braum and Nash at level 3, but.
We'll try.
Oh, the root goes through as Toto gets a lot of damage with the Ignite, but I think he should be able to survive that.
If that hook would have landed or not against the minion, then they maybe could have killed Toto there, but with hitting the minion, everything was over. But that was really a good first part for Once Upon a Team. I mean, we joked a little bit about that, but Viego, who is getting kills in the early game, is so strong because his kills basically convert to faster pickups, to faster those kill rotations. But no, we see ghosting.
Yes, Neko back at it, going towards the top lane gank this time around as Black starts getting really low with the Ignite, is able to retreat on the turret just in time. But yeah, not leaving them much space to breathe here on his... Oh, my brain is not working.
That's
on
not
his Viego.
Oh yeah. Viego, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, don't worry. Yeah, it's because every single kill on Viego just means that he gets his resets faster because he has more damage, so he can just burst someone down and then get into his next reset and stuff. So kills on him really multiply a lot, basically. So getting him the first blood could mean a lot, especially in this team comp, because it's basically all around him. So just having those champions who can pick up someone, who can CC someone, for him to do the dirty work, for him to get resets, which means that he needs to get fed, and right now he has the first blood, so everything is working as intended by Once Upon a Team.
Yes, they're doing so really well. Looking for those gangs, and for the rest just farming. Yeah, for the rest, this game still not that much action, except for the few times Neko is ganking here and there. We had a small skirmish on the top lane, but it was a classic top lane skirmish.
Yeah. What a game. What a game right now. One kill for them, one trade for them. And that's what I really said in the, before the draft started, that both teams are really close to each other.
Ooh, here we have some action. We have Spinto with his ulti coming in with Neko on the bot lane as they get the CC on Nemu and get a kill. And this was really threatening. The timing here was on fleek with that Ryze ultimate.
Yeah. Good play. I mean, in the end, it's just a kill and some plating, so it's not that much, but still it was a good thing to get Viego more and more ahead. And like I said, those kills quite multiply themselves just because he will get stronger and stronger and maybe get running faster and faster to get even more kills. So
yes. But in the meantime, the gank on the mid lane, Licky there, helps Razor get a kill on Spinto. And yeah.
But I predicted this gank. I mean, I already said after the first bag, so both bag, then one has the catalyst, one has damage. Then of course with the level 6, with those ultimates, Ryze is just an easy target for Akali. And that's exactly what I predicted, of course. And I mean, we see the CS advantage already in the mid lane just because it's a rough matchup for Ryze. And of course he roamed down to the bot lane and now lost a huge wave under the turret. And even top lane has a small CS advantage. Even bot lane has a small CS advantage. So even though we have 2 kills to 1, Edwards is still ahead in gold. Oh, the Ashero.
Yeah, went to the side. A familiar side, unfortunately. And you had Nemo there in the bush. Yeah, with the hook. Nice shield from Toto. As that hook turns around to Nemo, getting himself a lot of damage in his face.
Yeah, strongly played, and that's why every single lane against the Braum is really hard to play, just because you can't really wiggle them down, you can't really kill them, and yeah, that's really hard to play against this big shield.
Yes, definitely works in their favor here on the bot lane, as they're not too threatened by Nemu's Nautilus because of that. There's a lot of safety in there, even when your wave is down.
Yeah, definitely. But still, I mean, it's quite an I would not say eventless game, but I mean, besides those 3 kills, the game is really, really slow. Just from the pace, not those many like 1v1 solo actions and stuff. Not those many like invading skirmishes or fights around Drake or Herald and stuff. Just just 2 teams who farm up because both have quite decent scaling. I mean, you have Ryze, you have Ashe and Vigo, of course. All of them are really scaling well. But on the flip side, you have K'Sante on the sideline with Caitlyn. Even with Arcania has a decent scaling because you are always a threat to the backline. And so if both teams play it like slow and just control it, then we might get to the late game, and then we might see who the better team is, who can dance around the Baron a little bit better and just can utilize pressure.
Oh, another gang on the mid lane this time around. Stun does not find purchase as Bryza is able to make his way under the turret. However, his own jungler this time decides to go on the bot lane. Licky is there. Is going to prop that Herald, should finish off that turret, which is already pretty beat up, to be honest. So they could actually wager it and maybe go for the tower dive. However, Neko is on the way, and Toto does show it with the Glacier Fissure, and Xenon is in a dangerous spot there as Neko joins the back line, but is low himself now from being so far ahead. And Razor comes in to finish up the kill. Cutlight has TP'd downwards with his own ultimate, is able to save some lives, but not for too long as they end up dying. Toto forced to use his shield against that Kate ulti, and now Adverse is cleaning up the rest as they go away from this fight with an ace.
And it even was a 4v5. I mean, K'Sante never moved to the team, so they just won a clean 4v5, a clean ace. They get the turret, and I think we really saw one big problem of Once Upon a Team. If you just don't get the reset on your fat Viego, if you just don't have like the setup to get one after the another, then you just lose those team fights against this kind of like wombo combo team with Wukong, with Akali ult, just a lot of AoE damage, a lot of peeling, because when we saw the draft, I already talked about this Nautilus being that good in just seeing this Viego that he doesn't get those resets, and that's exactly what we saw. He just couldn't get a single kill in that, and after that it was just running them down because they just used every single ability. It was a proactive play. I mean, they tried to get into it with the Ryze ultimate, and then it just didn't work. They needed to run out, and then it was just a chase down. So really, really strongly played by Adverse, and now the game totally swinged from totally even to 5k gold. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong maneuver here from Adverse, especially 4 kills onto that Akali with Doxil is already really well. If that Akali does not get picked here from What, which definitely made the good choice of trying to kill her. Maybe to get it, Spinto even survives still, and that's the shutdown going to Neko, which is really good for his Viego.
And not only that, I mean, look at the sad Akali. She bought Magi's, and now she has no stacks on it.
Yes, and we may follow up with another catch here on Licky, who's alone in the jungle just with Nemu, but he does a lot of damage with that Cyclone. You need to get out of the AoE as now Adverse comes in, swooping 2 kills, killing back Neko.
Yeah, what a catch by both teams, actually. I mean, first of all, the catch on Akali, but now those 2 catches against Viego and Braum. It's really, really hard to play right now for Once Upon a Team if they don't get those 5v5 catch after catch team fights.
Ooh, nice hook here under the turret with CC as Adverse pick up another kill.
And what a crazy item build, by the way, by Caitlyn, just going for Infinity into double crit just to have the crit for the passive of the Infinity Edge. So just totally going for single auto attack damage. I mean, she doesn't even has any attack speed right now. I mean, a little bit from her runes, but that's it. Not even Berserk. I mean, not even that as attack speed right now, and so he just makes one auto attack, and that will hurt. But after that, probably not a second. But especially with the auto attack resets from the traps, for example, or from the E, she has some built-in attack speed. So if she makes an auto attack and then someone steps into a trap, she can instantly auto again. And then if she hits the E, she can instantly auto it again. So there are a lot of auto attack resets in her kit. So she doesn't need this attack speed at the moment to still deals ton of damage.
Yeah, and it works really well for now for Xamon. I mean, 205 is pretty respectable, and with all the CC there is in his team, it does still work. I mean, look at how long Nesca was caught there. Now Neko might have the catch on Razor again. However, dances really well again with that Shroud and is able to go back in safety behind Nemu, but now it's Xemon who's getting caught. But no, that Wukong with the Cyclone as Neko is very low, needs to flash away. Now we try to finish Xemon off. Spinto missed that Q, unfortunately, barely. And now he's getting jumped on by Razor as well as Licky, who both pick up that kill on the enemy mid lane.
Yeah, and again, it's just the Vigo who can't find those resets. And just look at Cassandra. I mean, his team has 11 kills and he just split pushing the whole game long and doesn't really care about anything in this game. Meanwhile, Lichuani always running to the team, trying to hit the ultimate, and Cassandra just is playing his own game on a different map, maybe, who knows. But what a team fight there from Adverse, and just this crucial miss by Spinto, and then of course like Viego just getting bursted down, needing to flash out, needing to ult out. And without you, Viego, without those resets, and if you are not like the initiator of those plays, but if you are the engaged one, then it's really, really hard to play. And I think they even tried to engage, but it was on Akali. And like I said, the only targets you can really try to burst down and engage are Nautilus and Caitlyn, because if all you engage just tries to get onto a Akali who gets into stealth and who jumps out, then you can't really get those resets in, and then you can't really engage win those team fights. So that's really rough for them.
Yeah, and also that Akali can, I mean, Razor plays really well around that Shroud and has always been able to win some time for the rest of the team to concentrate around him to support him up to now. So definitely not the target they want to get here, as Adverse also finishes their third Drake, securing for themselves Soul Point.
Yeah, and that's really a big one for them, because now, I mean, Drake is already spawning in 5 minutes, and then it's just Soul at 22. I mean, that's really early. And especially maybe if you dance around the Baron a little bit and then take down the Baron at minute 21 or something, then you go resetting, and then you can just set up for Soul, get the Soul. And with that, I mean, just imagining this Soul against the Viego, I mean, everybody who drops down to just half-life gets some more damage resistances. And with that, you can't really burst someone down, so Viego can't really get his resets, and that's the whole plan for Once Upon a Team. And if you can't get the resets, then you can't win those team fights. So it's really rough if you lose the next Drake.
Yes, definitely. And unfortunately, now with 9k gold lead in favor of Adverse, it's going to be really hard to deny it. They need to make those catches work and need to find those catches they can take. And now maybe I thought some action on top lane. Yeah, I want to say before, you mentioned Cassandra always on the side lane just pushing, doing whatever. I was going to say, you said he's on another map. I want to say, oh, maybe he used his ultimate in the wrong spot, right?
Yeah. Jumping over the wall and just landing in Aram, maybe. Just
yeah.
Yeah.
But then I remembered, oh, actually, we didn't see a single ultimate from him yet, I think. So
no, yeah, we actually didn't.
Maybe now is the time, as Spinto is kind of in his face. He tried to take him down, but Spinto gets taken down by Xemon with his insane damage. And now we have Neko who's getting caught by Licky. And Askout did a lot of damage from that Q under the turret. And they have to be careful. Nemu now gets a lot of damage from the turret. That's a kill in favor of Wattbit. Another return kill on the Renadi carry. And support now as our Cassandra is finally doing some work and getting some kills there, but does get finished off by that turret dive.
The first time he ults and he dies. Oh, sad. Yeah, but at least he gets 3 assists, so he finally was there with the team and kind of like gave them the front line to do this play. So definitely still great by him. And in the end, like 15-5, Akali on the side lane, getting this turret probably. Yeah, it's a rough time for Once Upon a Team. They can't really find a great opening. Now they're sitting at a 10k disadvantage in terms of gold. And Baron is right around the corner and just spawning in like a few seconds. And now if you just, I don't know, you can just start it. You have the damage, you have like the tankiness with Wukong, with Nautilus. And if they come too close, then you can always just run them down with Nautilus ult and with Wukong. So I definitely see a play here for Adverse to just start up Baron and just bait them into a bad Baron play, for example.
Yes, either that, or maybe that's the hope of what they go for the Baron. Meanwhile, what can maybe take that tower dive on Razor, who's alone in bot lane, and take that turret for some objective gold. Try to get some gold where they can, not force anything. Here we go. The Infernal Machine is started as Razor decides to go in, puts a lot of damage on Neko very early on, and gets the kill in a matter of few seconds as the TP is also coming in from that K'Sante. Razor now himself very low, has to retreat under the turret, but it's Watt, which is between two turrets, and Spinto, who does a completely crazy tower dive and dies from it, while the rest of Adverse... Oh god, that was so close! Almost stealing that turret.
I thought the same. I thought she will steal it. Oh man, what a close arrow. And yeah, K'Sante's teleport just for safety measures, but there's a catch on Ashe, and she can't really run away from Wukong, but what a tower dive there. And just Akali executing it perfectly. She knows that she needs to kill Diviego because he is the most fat member of the dive squad. So she just bursts him down and then runs out. And Spinto just unlucky again with the spells. Just doesn't hit the last Q to kill her there. And then of course, all he can do is tower diving and maybe getting in range, but playing them.
Yeah, truly a perfect execution from Akali. Meanwhile, the rest of Adverse is turning the tides around. Toto getting very low, and they are under that bot lane inhibitor, but getting a lot of damage. Now Razor is in there getting started. They get the shutdown on the Akali player, but they lose themselves 3 people, and soon a 4th member as Neko tries to fight it, but does not survive. Meanwhile, we have Xemon simply already starting off at those the Nexus turrets, already getting a first one while the mid inhib is down. Bot inhib is also not going to survive for long, but I think what is going to die first is that second Nexus turret and the Nexus, as Adverse is looking to finish that game as quickly as possible, separating themselves from Watt in the standings.
Yeah, really truly well played by Adverse. Just showing the ESL LoL Series Division 2 that they are still in the game, that they are still maybe even in the top region of the group if they now start getting some wins, and nothing is over yet for them. So, and with that win, maybe the confidence get back for them, and there could be a way up. Who knows?
Yes, definitely. They showed us a very strong performance this game around. I mean, that was really, really solid from Adverse. They played this really well overall, and they are pulling themselves up into the standings, which we can take a look at right now to see the overall end of standings for this first day of the 3rd week. And of course, still at the top, Rift Sloths unbeaten, followed up by Aoma and Dynasty, both of them sitting at the 2nd place. Following up, we have Rebus Gaming, which unfortunately suffered a 2nd loss against Aoma earlier today. And then we have Pertinax Esports, followed up by Aurora and Adverse, which just climbed up on the 6th spot. Last but not least, Once Upon a Team, still unable to get a win for themselves, will need that hope for Friday.
There would be the time to bounce back. Hopefully they can do that, and there we see the upcoming matches for the Friday. Pertinax against Reaper, so the middle of the pack teams clashing against each other. Who can really be in the top half of the standings? Then of course we have Once Upon a Team against Aoma, so that could be maybe an easy matchup for Aoma, and so the way to the top again. But let's see. And then of course Dynasty against Rift Sloths, so that's definitely a banger matchup to watch for, because both teams really want to be in the playoffs, and Rift Sloths really wants to sit on first place, so they will fight for to the last second, and then of course in the end we have Adverse against Aurora, and maybe the time for Adverse to get to the same place than Aurora, then with 2 wins for them. So that could be definitely important as well.
Yes, indeed. So make sure you tune in on Friday, same time as today, so for 7 p.m. to see those banger matchups we have lined up for you. And if you want any other additional info or stay up to date on the topic of the second division of the Elite Series, make sure to follow our social media, but also the social media of every team. You should be able to get a link to those, by the way, by using small commands in the chat. So make sure you give them a follow because they all deserve it. They're playing awesome games for us. And yeah, any last messages from your part, Fristana?
It was an amazing day. And I just substituted today for I think it was QG, so I had a really good time with you, and hopefully I see you again on another match day. I think Friday I won't be here, so definitely, but still keep up this pace. We do a great thing here for the Luxembourgish scene and for the whole Elite series. So this English podcast is always a pleasure to be here, and it was really a pleasure to have you here with me on my side. Thank you.
Yes, the sentiment is most definitely shared, and yeah, I hope we will cast some more for the rest of the split. For now, Friday, I will be back, and I think alongside me there should be Harmless Scarecrow, unless anything changes until then. But make sure to tune in then on Friday to see us cast, and yeah, we'll see you in 2 days.